Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So this video we're going to discuss Geeks for Geeks problem of the day, and today's problem is make palindrome, and it is an easy level problem. So I was not able to upload yesterday's problem of the day. Actually, our end semester exams are approaching in our college, and we have a lot of assignments and quizzes to complete. So that is why I was very busy yesterday and was not able to upload the problem of the day. So anyways, today's problem is very straightforward, and you have to read the problem statement carefully in order to do this particular problem correctly. So what I did was I just didn't read the problem statement carefully, and that is why I made a few wrong submissions as well. But the important thing in this particular problem is that you have been given an array of size n, and we have to find out whether we can make a palindromic string by concatenating the strings in any order. So the very important thing here is that you have to concatenate and use all the strings, right? If you don't use all the strings, that would lead to an incorrect answer. So you have to use all the strings. It's such that you can use them in any order, right? So this is our task. Now I'll discuss this particular problem, and let me just take this particular sample test case. So you'll have to use all of these problems. So what I can do is I can just use the first string. So I can write it like this: D, J, F and H, and I can write the third string that is present here at the ending. So it will be H, F and J, D, right? Now I can use the second string that we have, G, A, D, T, and I can use the T, D, A, G string, right? So you see that this whole string will be a palindrome. Now let us first talk about some smaller characters, right? So this is right now we are considering strings, right? Let us talk about characters instead of strings. How do we make sure that some characters, if you have been given some characters, we can make them a palindrome or not, right? So if I have a here, I can put a here, right? Just to match it, right? So this is what our general strategy is. If I put an a in the beginning, or if I put a b in the beginning, I would always want a b at the end as well, right? Similarly, I would always want an a at the end as well. Now what if I put a string ab here, right? To make the whole string a palindrome, if I am putting ab in the front, I would want to put ba at the end, right? If I put cd after it, I would want to put dc at the end, right? So if I'm placing any string anywhere in the whole concatenated string, I would always want its counterpart to be reverse, right? So this is what we'll be doing. So what we can do is we can just make sure that for every string that we have, we also have a reverse string, right? So for example, whenever I'm traversing from the starting, so for example, in this particular case, I had the string djfh, right? So I encountered the first string djfh. Now I would need h, f, j and d at the ending, right? This is what I need. So I can store this particular information somewhere that I have encountered this particular string. So I need its reverse. So for example, if I am maintaining a map kind of thing, so I'll increment the frequency of the reverse, right? If I've encountered this particular string, and what I can do is I can increment the frequency of the reverse of the string, right? Whenever I encounter a new string, I'll check whether I needed this string before or not, right? If there is some reverse string of this particular string that already existed, that I have traversed already, right? If the frequency of this particular string is already greater than 0, then I can do minus minus need of that particular string, whatever it is, right? If the frequency of the current string is greater than 0, that means there is a reverse string that has already occurred before it, then I can just decrement its frequency. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll calculate the reverse of current string s and increments its frequency, right? So this is what we'll be doing. Our main idea is to traverse through the whole array, and whenever we encounter any string, for example, we have encountered a b c d, we would want that we would increment the frequency of its reverse dcba, so that whenever we encounter later on dcba, we already know that we needed this string, and now we have found it, we can decrement its frequency, right? So at the end, if the frequency of all the elements is equal to 0, that means our answer is valid. Otherwise, our answer will not be valid. Now, there is only one exception to this particular case. What happens if there is only one string at the end, which is itself a palindrome, right? So for example, a string is ABA, right? So this whole string can also be a palindrome. So what we will need to do is there can exist at most one string which is a palindrome itself, right? So it cannot be any string like ABB. It should be a palindrome. If among all the strings, for example, this is S1, this is S2, this is S3, this is S4, all the frequency is 0 except one of the strings, and this string itself is a palindrome. In that particular case, our answer can exist, right? If there are multiple strings that are palindrome, our answer cannot exist. If there is only one string that exists but it is not a palindrome, then also our answer cannot exist, because this particular string will have no counter pair and this particular string will have to be stored in the between. Now if it is stored in the between, it should be itself a palindrome, otherwise I cannot use it in the full string, right? So this is our key idea. Now let me just quickly summarize this, what I have just said. So what we will do is, we will just traverse through the whole input array. This is the whole input array that we have, and we will just, whenever we encounter a new string, we check whether this particular string is needed or not, right? If this particular string is in demand or not. If the need of this particular string is equal to 0, then what we will do is, we will find the reverse of that string and we will increment the need of the reverse, right? This is what we are going to do. Why? Because if I found a current string, now I need the reverse of this string, right? So I just traverse further in the array. Whenever I find a new string, I check whether it is needed or not. If it is needed, then I decrement its frequency, otherwise I increment the frequency of its reverse. At the end, I just have to check in the map for all the strings, the frequency of those strings should be equal to 0. But if there is a string whose frequency is not equal to 0, exactly one string, and that particular string is also a palindrome, then only our answer will be yes, otherwise the answer will be no in all other cases, right? So let me just show you the code now, what I've done in the code. So I've created a map of needed values, right? This is the needed values that I need. So I just traverse through the whole array that has been given to us in the input. Now I just check whether the current element or the current string is present in my map or not. Now if the frequency of the current string is greater than 0, then I'll just decrement its frequency and I'll just continue in the loop. Otherwise I'll get out of this part, and what I'll do is, I'll just check what is the reverse of the string. So I'm creating a new string rev, which is equal to current, and I'm just reversing it, right? And I just increment the frequency of its reverse. Now at the end, what I'll do is, I'll take a boolean variable OK. So this will denote that I have not taken any single string till now, right? If the frequency of the frequency of any string in the needed array is greater than 0, I just check whether OK is true or not. If OK is false, I can just directly return 0, right? Now I just check what is the current string and what is the reverse of that string. So I calculate the reverse of the string by doing the reverse function. Right, now if reverse is not equal to current, I can just directly return 0. But if the reverse is equal to current, I can make the value of OK as 0. Why? Because I cannot take another string such that it is also a palindrome. As I have discussed, I can only take one string if it is a palindrome and place it in the middle. But if there are multiple strings like this, I cannot take them. Right, so I just mark OK as 0 now. So the next time any element which has frequency greater than 0, I can directly return 0, because in that case answer will not be true. Right. So if 0 is not returned by any of these places here, I can at the end I can just return 1 or true. So this would be the solution of today's problem of the day. So I'm just trying to run this particular code and show you that this works. And I believe that this problem was not very difficult. It was very straightforward. But usually at Geeks for Geeks, whenever we get an easy problem, we don't have this much to write. So yeah, this problem was a bit different than other easy problems. So as you can see that this problem is working, and I hope that you guys were able to understand the solution. If you guys did, then consider dropping a like on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's always free of course, and if you don't find the videos interesting later, you can always unsubscribe. So till the next video drops, keep coding, stay safe, bye bye.